What's up, ladies and gents? This video is for those that are excited for Titans League Season 3. Just looking through the bracket in what is Season 2 for Silver, aka the qualifier for Gold for Season 3 of Titans League. We have 11 spots in this Silver qualifier due to the fact that Song Song and Derp will not be playing this season, and they're dropping out of Gold. And then Backed is not playing this season, dropping out of Platinum, meaning the best player to fit that category, aka the best performing player that didn't get promoted in LAN, he goes up to Platinum this season, and then we obviously have a vacated spot in Gold. So 11 spots, which means we have 11 groups, and we're going to go through them right now briefly. So I'm going to mainly talk about the top 4 seeds, because we're talking about who's favored here. So this is what it looks like. Obviously, link this in the description. I'm real excited to see what Fire can do. Fire is the #1 seed. I think he is the favorite to qualify. He did get relegated out of Gold. He's looking to get back into Gold, and he has experience on the maps, and I think is really motivated right now. Smero, another player who got relegated out, could be interesting, as well as Cloud, who's an older player, but is really strategic about things. So I think Cloud could be interesting, particularly when we get to the best of 5s. Group B, we have Say My Name coming back, trying to qualify. He did not try and qualify for Season 2, if I'm not mistaken. So, what was that? No, he got relegated in Season 2. That's what happened. He's the favorite. This dude's insane if he plays well. Players like Hassan from the US, if they really take it seriously and have a run, could maybe do it. Maybe Survivalists could pull something together, as he played pretty good in the Silver last year, or last season. Ultimately, though, I think we got 3 big names in this group. I think we've got Say My Name, we've got Cosmonaut, and we've got Target. Target he doesn't play a lot of ladder games. He's gotten some great results in tournaments. I think he's really good on mixed maps, and he prepares very well. If I had to guess, we have a Say My Name Target final here in the end of the month. Group C, this one's fun, guys. So we have Seed 1 being Uzi, who is the favorite within this group, in my opinion. And you've got some fun names here. You've got Nahuel from Argentina. You've got Kongan from Denmark. These guys could be really solid. But check this out. We've got Nilly at seed number 2. Nilly caster, Gamer Legion player, right? Was in Gold League and got relegated out. And then you've got me. And I have not... I'm not sure how I feel about it, because the first time I played Nilly in a tournament was 2 weeks ago. And, well, I guess you could tell these seedings are rigged. He's going to have something to prove there. We might run into each other. I don't know too much about some of the opponents we're facing up against, so I think we're at least going to make it here, and possibly beyond. We'll see. But those are the 3 or 4 big names, maybe 5 in this bracket. Uzi, Nahuel, Kongan, Kamigawa, depending on his shape, could do really well. He's formerly top 50 player. He can get there. Then Nilly, myself, and Kamigawa, we'll see. Should be fun. Uzi, I think, takes it home, though. I think he's just playing so good right now, and he's super motivated. Okay, in this one, we've got some fun ones, man. So we've got the top 2 seeds I'm really putting my hopes on here. El Matador, a teammate of mine in a recent team game event. He's been practicing. He's an elite level talent. He is so good. If he's got the mixed maps down, he's the favorite here, in my opinion. Arg, though, don't sleep on this guy. He's good in mixed map settings. And then one I'm so excited to watch in this season, and I kind of hope he qualifies too, is I Buy Power, aka Brave Bear. Hardy might want to check this and edit it in, but I think he lost to Lix in the qualifier I think he lost to Lix in the Silver in the past season, and he lost 3-2 maybe. Maybe we could post his results. Anyways, he played really good. I was just so taken back by how solid he played. So I think he's going to be beastly. Moving on in Group E, we have another player who was relegated, Overtaken. And Overtaken's going to be looking to get in. And on this side of the bracket, the most realistic threat to him is most likely Alive, who's a player who is one of the best. He's top 5, top 10 back in the mid-2000s. I've been meaning to make a video on him. Never got around to it. Dude still plays. Dude's pretty good. He's not putting as much time into the game as maybe some others, but I think those two could run into each other in the upper part of this bracket. And you've got White Court, player who was relegated out of Gold, looking to get back. As my favorite, could run into, Andre, potentially, Salted Pepper, Hoy, any of these players. But I think that I could see like someone like Ray in a best of 3 having some cool things prepared right now. He is an American player who's really good in mixed settings, so Salted Pepper better watch out. Moving on down, we have Casva looking to enter Titans League. I don't think he tried to play in any of the previous seasons. He's been taking Age of Empires 2 incredibly seriously, doing some great stuff on the ladder, and getting wins against big names like Hera, Viper, etc. Casva's my favorite in this bracket, and I think he, as long as he's preparing on the maps, is going to be able to have good results here. He runs into some names that I'm a big fan of, though. You've got Ozone, who, similar to El Matador in groups prior, has been training. And then Beery, I recall, performing really well in previous year's Silver and was proving everyone wrong. Like, people were like, oh, Beery can only play with Mongols. He can only play with this or that civ. No, he's doing really well. So I'm kind of excited for those players. Ultimately, I think it's going to be like Ozone, Beery, moves on to face probably Casva, and Casva is my favorite in that best of 5. But how prepared are those players going to be? We'll see. Should be awesome. In Group G, we have some players who performed pretty well in previous at Titans League. Bloodless and Tamate, I think, did decently well. I remember a series between, I think, Tamate and Bloodless. Jack as well, really good underrated player from Poland, could do some crazy things. Yax, a Turkish player, could be quite solid here. Maybe Carbo. PUCL is the #1 seed, but I think this group is way more wide open than all the other ones. It just all depends on the day, having played the majority of these players before. So, will be fun there. If I had to lean towards somebody, I think I'm leaning towards Jack. Depending on the level of seriousness he's playing the game with. Maybe him. Yeah, maybe him or Husiel. I think the seeding doesn't completely lie at the end of the day. Group H is the group of 2 big, solid Chinese players that I think we need to pay attention to. #1 seed is Bad Koala. Bad Koala is a maniac. He's incredibly talented. And then Jibitong is like a former top 20, top 30 name from 2 years ago. Hasn't been hugely active, but started to play a game again. I don't recall if he or Bad Koala tried to play in Silver last year. But anyways, those 2, they are 1 and 2 seeds, but I do have them as my favorites. Now, this guy, he's a Vietnamese player. TK, he's been playing really good. So I think he's a lock for this area, and I think like he versus Jibitong would be a very fun set here. And then, potentially like Lighty, who's an up-and-coming French player. I think he's got some good players he's up against, teamed with and talking to. And then Cyclops, who's probably training with a lot of these other Turkish guys I mentioned earlier. I think those 2 are kind of sleepers here. But yeah, we move on. Group I, Stark. He was relegated out of the first season, and then due to not really being the best at scheduling in that season, was kind of banned from the second season. But I think he was busy with life. He's been playing the game a lot recently, and he's the #1 seed. And just with like the map pool being a little bit more closed than maybe what Season 3 is going to end up being, we're using Season 2's map pool for this, to be clear. And the fact that he's playing so good on Arabia right now, is like he is my runaway favorite. But I think Deeker and Clement having been in gold before and being relegated, and then Deeker also playing very high level. I think those guys could be awesome. Stone Please is also playing some great Age of Empires, a German player. This guy's actually really good too. I don't know, man. It's an interesting one, but I think Stark is definitely the one to lean towards here in Group I. Let me know, of course, in the comments if you disagree. For all my Aussies out there, you've got this guy. I think he's the only Australian we passed thus far in this group. Group J, #1 seed is FedEx, who is a really good strategic player, and I think you could consider him the favorite. But then you've got some names that have been around. Chaos, really good in a closed map pool. Can really take tournaments seriously with strategy. Hope, a player who's insanely talented from Vietnam. And I've been seeing him just light it up recently on the ladder. Sizcon, a player who's much improved from his attempts to qualify in the past. I think he's a former StarCraft guy. He's been playing Age now, and exclusively Age for over the past year. Those are the names that I look to the most here in this bracket. And let's not forget about Gemjack, another Polish guy similar to Jack, ironically, Gemjack, Jack. who also did really well. So, I don't know. There's like 5 names here. King Boo will be upset with me. I think King Boo could definitely get to here. Maybe he could make a run. At least, like, let's just say 6 names, because King Boo's probably going to watch this. That I think realistically have a really solid chance at maybe qualifying there. The final group is a group that has competitive names, but according to Mr. Yo, well, I didn't ask Yo specifically about this, but according to my conversations with Yo, which is put it that way, has only one winner. Yo told me in Berlin many months ago, he said Ming is the most underrated player right now. And Ming is the #1 seed. And this guy is probably not a name you know a lot about. He reached 2K5 on the ladder, and he barely plays 1v1s. I'm excited to see what this guy brings to the table. Pella, Argentinian player, will be motivated. Eli, a US player, really enjoys to like train and prepare for these things and is pretty good in mixed map settings. Like Eli's a player who, when it's not just Arabia, can thrive a bit, maybe could surprise. And then there's Prisma and Amalius, probably the 2 names here in Group K, where, Prisma, another really good Argentinian player, plays a lot of Arabia, shows a lot of talent. I'm just not sure how much time he'll put into preparing for the maps. I don't know him too well. Amalius, a Finnish guy who's kind of like almost like the Max, if you know the Max, and he will probably have some things prepped. But anyways, that is the quick overview. I don't think we're going to do predictions for this, but basically round 1 starts this week. That'll be happening. And, we're going to conclude, and we're going to have 11 people moving up to gold by the end of this month. So it should be pretty crazy. I'll cover as much as I can. As I said in the prior videos, I will not be able to cover every single series, obviously, and I'll cover the ones that are most interesting to me while still prioritizing some other things. As far as any questions on myself as a player, I don't expect myself to qualify. I think that with the way this shapes up here, my goal is to make it to the semifinals at least. But I kind of perform well if I don't really believe I could do something. Like I did one little training session, but I'm not going to do much more. And we're just going to see how it goes. Low expectations from me. If Neely and I end up meeting, it should be good for fans. And regardless of that result. So, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. And Titans League graphic. Cool.